So, Paddy, I want to start with you. Where did this idea come from?
It came from a really personal place, actually. I was born and raised as a PK, a preacher's kid, the son of a reverend. I've got two sisters and a brother, and we grew up with my mum and my dad in the manse in the vicarage beside a small church in very remote rural Australia. So we kind of grew up surrounded by these stories of beauty and laughter and pain that happened in the small community that we grew up in. So it came from that place. And I thought, what an incredible setting for a drama where stories kind of walk in the door, and the requirement to help and connect with people in really difficult and really beautiful situations naturally kind of gave rise to a drama series. But what I wanted to do was kind of elevate the premise and the idea and the way in, and rather than just making a show about a small town reverend, which lots of people have done to really great effect, was to take this idea that success in connection isn't actually about the study and the theological depth of knowledge of a reverend or any person of community leadership. It's about their ability to connect with people. It's about their ability to show love. So we thought, wouldn't it just be funny and suspenseful and interesting if we took a criminal who had the skill set of a crook at the top of their game and forced them into a position of community leadership, where as opposed to being neutral, they had to take sides for the first time in their lives. And they had reluctantly found that by having to pretend to care for people because their life depended on it, they actually began to enjoy it.
That's the, I mean, Mac is just great as this sort of an anti-hero of sorts.
Absolutely an anti-hero. Completely agree.
But then you've got the real Reverend who is going through a bit of a crisis. Where did that all come into it?
Well, we wanted to make a show about juxtaposition. We wanted to fish out a water story. So at the same time as having a bad guy very, very, very slowly becoming good, we wanted a good guy very, very quickly becoming bad. So we could trade places and then watch them come back to meet in the middle. And there's a deliciousness in that, in someone who had grown up with organized religion, who had studied religion, who was professionally charged with care of people. Twist turns out we meet him in a very, very low place. His wife's just left him. He's having a crisis. And the way that he deals with it is to steal from someone and go on a completely selfish, hedonistic romp. And there's just joy in that, fun in that, and then connecting the two so that they could rub off on each other in a way. And I think that Colin and PJ perfectly performed that and encapsulate that, and are a great yin and yang to each other in the series.
So Debbie and Alastair, at what point did you come into the development, and why? Why this one?
Look, Paddy was working at Matchbox Pictures, our company, for quite a number of years in our development team, and he's always had this idea. And he'd made a short. Was it a short film or was it a television pilot many years ago at university? So we always knew he had this idea. So it was a great idea from the very start. It had that perfect balance of high stakes drama, along with real heart and comedy. So we knew it was great pitch, but almost, Paddy was sort of quite young. He's still young when he first came into the company. So it was like, it was when he was ready to do it. I felt like he'd worked with us for a number of years, and he was just at that point. It was like, okay, you've done your training. This is time to pitch this idea. So we knew about the idea for a long time, but it was when Paddy had developed and was ready to pitch it, and as his first show as creator and showrunner, it was the right time, because people just loved that pitch straight away. Actually, people really responded to it.
Yeah, when the first time Paddy pitched, the first time I heard the pitch from Paddy, it was so compelling. You were so in it, you could see it, you could feel it, and it was a place you wanted to be. And because it came, as Paddy was saying, it came from such a personal, authentic place that really played through in how he talked about it. So it was really easy to have the confidence that Paddy, even though he'd never showrun a show before, it was very easy to get behind him, because you just, he makes you a believer. you know, in whatever he's selling, you know, you want to buy it. So it was a very easy yes.
Preacher's son.
Yeah,
Very,
Preacher's son.
very persuasive.
So I know it's billed as a limited series. Does it have to stay that way, or can we have more?
We can totally have more. I think, I hope that audiences connect with what we've tried to do, which is create a world where people want to be. And I hope that's a world that people want to go back to. As a writer, and certainly I speak on behalf of the writing team when I say we have a lot of ideas. I remember when we finished series 1, I went back to the document that I made for series 1 and had about 57 episode ideas. So there's plenty. I think we've created a world that's authentic and rich, with a population of characters, and a central character with a massive secret that I want to go back to for a very long time. So hopefully audiences feel the same way.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I have to wrap there, but I can't wait for people to see this. I loved it. And
Thank
November
you.
the 30th cannot come soon enough.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alexandra. Bye.